thoughts on the field that's coming here?
Well, obviously, it's first off, it's great to be playing at Baum. Been on the road for 10, 11 days. I think the guys are excited about getting back and playing in front of their crowds and sleeping in their own beds. But the field's good. It's always good. We don't know a whole lot about Central Connecticut. Trying to find out about them as much as we can, and then you got Cal and TCU, who I've always been good in baseball, and TCU's been to the World Series. I think they went on a roll a few years back, or they went 4 or 5 years in a row. So it's going to be a great regional.
Hey, this is the first time that Arkansas has ever hosted 3 straight regionals. The first time you've ever been a top 8 seed in back-to-back years. What have you thought about this run that the program's been on the last few years?
Just that, we played pretty steady baseball. Last year's team was older. We felt like we were going to have a good team. This year's team, kind of had to make their own identity, I guess. They make a name for themselves. They were kind of in the shadow of last year's team, and I think a lot of people thought it was going to be a pretty average year for us. And, with 6 new starters in the field and new conference starters, and really the only thing that's kind of the same is our bullpen. Other than that, it's a different team, and so just it's great that we've had a good year and won enough games against some really good teams that has allowed us to keep our our RPI up there in the rankings and stick around the top of the league, which always is one of the best leagues in the country. Our division, the Western Division, top to bottom, might be the best nationally. So it was a battle because we have to play every one of those teams. The Eastern Division has really good teams, but we don't have to play all of them. So just proud of the team. Program's in good shape, and hopefully we'll do well this week.
Pitching rotation, you tempted to wait and put Campbell in later on, though?
Yeah, we'll look at that. We're trying to get as much information, on Central Connecticut as we can to find out, are they a right-handed hitting team, left, switch? Just try to find out about their starting pitching. Obviously, we've already peeked at their statistics as far as batting average and home runs and that stuff offensively, but we need to dig into it a little bit more, and then we'll probably make a decision on that by tomorrow.
As far as Central Connecticut, they're in the same league as Bryant, and I know you guys lost to Bryant a few years ago. Is that something you kind of tell the guys about, or what does that say about these 4 seeds can rise up and beat big schools too,
Well, 4 seeds, they're dangerous. They come in, with nothing to lose, probably no pressure on them, happy getting the opportunity to play in a regional. Our job as coaches is make sure our team shows up and takes care of business, plays well.
Welcome in. It's our Thursday edition of On the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio, as we are back with you after, taking yesterday off due to weather issues, and sometimes you can't control what Mother Nature does, and we were safety over anything yesterday for myself and for my producer. Also, too, I made a name that I put out, Isaiah Jacobs. I meant Josh Jacobs, Demetrius, during our interview with 2020. 4-star running back Savion. I had asked him a question. I mentioned Isaiah Jacob. Isaiah's the one being recruited now. Josh was the young man that I was referring to. So I wanted to make a note of that interview snafu. I just always got to look for things, but I want to bring in my producer real quick before we get this thing going, because we got a real energetic show for you today. We're going to talk about Arkansas basketball. The SEC just put out its home schedule and away schedule for each and every team. So we know who we got to go with. And it's all about, the must bust and hoops. Scotty Borderland of the Arkansas Demgas. He'll be joining us here momentarily to talk about the Arkansas 2019-2020 basketball schedule. And also, too, he's also going to be giving us an update, as he's previously at the Men's Razorback press conference. We'll be talking about their ball game versus Central Connecticut tomorrow. Get his taste on those things. And then at 1:30, we're going to have a new featured 4-star running back, Dylan Johnson of Greenville, Mississippi. Arkansas made that top 6. We're going to talk to Dylan about, why Arkansas got in that top 6, his top 6 in general, and a multitude of things coming up with Mr. Johnson. But real quick, got to bring in the other Johnson, but my home guy. What's up, D?
Not much chilling, enjoying the day.
Man, you are a busy guy. I'm even surprised you got time to sit in on us today.
Yeah, man. We just got a lot going over here.
Absolutely.
Soft Up
Absolutely.
Entertainment, on the Hill Sports Talk. Just a lot of things we have planned this year, so I'm just moving around trying to make some things happen.
Well, we got to get these things happening because I'm trying to make some things happen too. And we got to start off with Scotty Borland of the Arkansas Demgas. But we're going to continue on with Coach Dave Van Horn as Arkansas will be hosting Central Connecticut in the opening game of the NCAA Regional Tournament at Baum Walker. And then we'll be back. It's on the Hill with Pat Jenkins on KDSJ 479. Let's get it.
Harp on the other team and really talk about the other team as far as all of what they have. We're definitely going to point it out to them, but it's really more about what we need to do as a team. That's kind of been, our motto all year. If we play well, if we do what we do well, we got a chance to beat anybody, and I think we'll keep that going.
Just the fact that the UALR and Northwestern State, those games, you can almost have them as far as
Yeah. I mean, you can always go back to those if you need to and say it doesn't matter if from a Power 5 conference or a mid-major. If you don't play well, you'll lose, and you just have to show up and be ready to go. I would think that, when you get to this time of the year, no midweek game, a couple 3 practices, I shouldn't have to motivate anybody to be out here at Friday at 1 o'clock to play, and I'll guarantee you won't.
You need to make that decision about what time you play when you're the host team.
I was asked that question about from our administration, if we had the opportunity to host a regional, would you want to play the first game or the second game? And my answer was the same that it is every year. Just like last year, I'd like to play the first game. And the reason being, weather can really put a spin on the whole tournament. If the first game gets in, the second game gets rain, delayed, goes into the night. We have to play the next day, play a couple of games. It can get a little bit rough, and then just the fact of sitting around all day. So the weather's supposed to be beautiful Friday. I saw it's supposed to be right around 80 degrees, which would be perfect. Should be great for the fans.
Yeah, do you feel that even on a weekday that you won't have any trouble?
Hey everyone, it's Pat Jenkins here of OTH. That's right, on the Hill with Pat Jenkins, Sports Talk Radio. We come to you each and every day here, Monday through Friday, from 1 to 2 on KDSJ 479. Be sure and tune in if you want to hear about SEC and the Arkansas Razorbacks. It's OTA. Holla.
Welcome in. It's our Thursday edition of On the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio here on KDSJ 479. And Arkansas men's basketball, the SEC released its home and away schedules for all 14 institutions. And so we want to talk to our good buddy of Arkansas Democrat Gazette, Scotty Borland. Scotty, what's going on, my man?
I'm doing pretty good, Pat. How are you, man?
Real good. I want to get off into Arkansas's 2019-2020 schedule for Coach Musselman and that new staff. What stood out about, next year's schedule, and what are some things that kind of surprised you?
Really, before I started breaking it down, I would like to see, I want to know what the dates are. But I think Arkansas's home schedule looks pretty good. I believe you got Auburn, LSU, and obviously Kentucky kind of highlighted. So that's pretty interesting. It's always good to get Kentucky at home and not have to make a return trip to Lexington. I'm going to hold off on a prediction or whatever for the conference schedule until the dates and all that shake out. But pretty interesting, I think, and hopefully the basketball schedule will start taking shape pretty soon.
I mean, how important do you think, the home and homes with, I believe they have a home and home with Tennessee, A&M, and Missouri, just to name a few. How important do you think those 6 games will be for Eric Musselman? I mean, when you look at, Tennessee, Missouri, and A&M, all teams I think will be in rebuilding mode, compared to Arkansas. How crucial will that 6 games be, for this team and, their postseason hopes, in your opinion? I mean, from looking at it early.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, those are some big games, and I don't think Texas A&M didn't have a great year last year. Anytime you hire a guy like Buzz Williams, he's going to bring some credibility and some legitimacy to that program again. where back to where where it was, and maybe beyond where it was just a couple of years ago. When they had Robert Williams, and some of those guys playing for them. But yeah, I mean, his first run through the SEC, I wouldn't be surprised. If it's kind of eye opening. Just the talent, the depth of the conference. Like the conference is as good last year as it may have ever been. So I think it might be a little bit eye opening with the way he's kind of putting this roster together right now. They might stand a chance to go out and surprise some folks in the league.
Now, you and I had not had a chance to discuss, the final assistant hire to Coach Eric Musselman's new and first initial staff here at Arkansas. Coach Clay comes in with a lot behind him as far as experience goes, having just now recently come off the Los Angeles Lakers coaching staff. Talk about, the staff now that he's assembled and, what's your impression of just his early message here at Arkansas, the message that Muss is trying to send?
Yeah, I mean, I think my initial impression is that he put together the exact staff that he wanted. He got guys who coached on the Division I level, like been head coaches, and they recruited at the Power 5 level. And then some guys that have, and a guy that has, NBA experience.
Right.
He's got experience, game planning for professional teams, like some of the best players in the world. And so he's going to, I think Moser particularly is going to bring, some of that advanced scouting and advanced game planning to Arkansas. As we know in the past, like Mike was a guy that was like, we're going to worry about what we do. I think Musselman has hired a guy who's like, your job is to figure out what they do, what the other team does really well, and kind of game plan from that. So that's going to be an interesting dynamic to kind of watch play out.
The biggest question, Scotty, was how much older could this team get? And it had to get older around, particular pieces that were coming back, heading into some sophomore, some, their junior seasons. Arkansas's done that in getting John Talsella, Isaiah Moss, and now what some, I'm kind of shocked to say Jimmy Witt makes his way back to Arkansas. 3 grad transfers. Talk about the roster when because we're looking at guys, Jimmy averaged 12. I believe Isaiah had 16. Jantal had around 15, 16 points. These are guys walking in the program that are guaranteed to get, those amount of points. Now you look at the percentages, a lot of double-digit guys enter this roster, but now they're 2 scholarships over. What's the the math? How's this thing going to shake out in your opinion to get down to that 13 scholarships that you're allowed to have once this this fall camp goes around?
Yeah, I think the first thing is there's got to be some clarity on what Phillip Garland's situation is. He's been, he's held a scholarship both years that he's been on campus. And I mean, if he's not going to be eligible to play, I would have to assume that scholarship is going to go elsewhere.
Right.
And then obviously that puts you at 14. You still got to make another move. We don't know what that's going to be yet. I don't want to speculate or throw a rumor out there or whatever.
Good point.
I mean, it looks like we might be getting some clarity the other day, and then a report to the contrary. So it's kind of up in the air. There's definitely going to have to be some movement. The NCAA only allows 13 scholarship players, and right now Arkansas is at 15, so there's definitely going to have to be a shakeup soon.
Now, you momentarily were at the press conference, I believe, leading into this first round of the NCAA men's baseball tournament at Baum Walker. Connor Nolan's going to be the opening pitcher versus Central Connecticut. What's the general feel when you walked out of Baum Walker heading into that 1 o'clock first pitch?
Yeah, I think everybody was wanting to know why Dave Van Horn decided to go with Connor Nolan in the first game. It's going to be Connor's first Friday start, I believe, of this season, in his career. So I don't think he's phased by I don't think he's going to be phased by the atmosphere. He's played in this same state, probably a bigger crowd than you can see at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. He's played against much better teams like Mississippi State, Tennessee here, and thrown well. I think everybody's just confident. I was talking to Isaiah Campbell too. They're confident Connor going out and throwing well and just kind of setting them up well for the rest of the weekend.
Well, Scotty, love having you on. We continue to talk. I won't, have such a sabbatical with you as we had prior weeks before. But as always, my man, thanks for taking time out here on the Hill.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks, Pat.
That was Arkansas Democrat Gazette Scotty Borderland giving us the 411, the what's going on the must bust with all things pertaining to Arkansas Razorback men's basketball and baseball. And, Demetrius Connor Nolan, freshman, starting his first ever NCAA playoff game in Baum Walker. I mean, what does that say about Connor and his ability and the belief, I believe, that Coach Dave Van Horn has in this young man?
Well, I also want to credit Dave Van Horn because I think it's a marketing technique. I think he really wants Connor Nolan to be full-fledged baseball. I think at the end of the day, I think Connor has a higher ceiling in baseball than he does football, and I think Dave really believes in him and really sees him as the future of that pitching staff coming in for the University of Arkansas.
Since we have a couple minutes before we go to our featured interview and segment of today here on OTH, Dylan Johnson, young man, 4-star running back out of Greenville, Mississippi. Ironically, the state of Mississippi's number one top running back, in my opinion. And when we have a chance to bring this man on, Demetrius, I'm telling you, very impressive young man. I mean, this young man, out of all my years of talking to individuals about recruiting, both female and male prospects that are coming to the University of Arkansas, Dylan really impressed me by a lot of things that we had a chance to discuss, and I'm pretty excited for the fans and listeners to get a chance to hear from him. But my question to you is Connor Nolan's future? Is it? And if you're Chad Morris, what do you do? If you're Dave Van Horn, Chad Morris, is it something that on Chad's side, do you encourage Connor because of the way you're recruiting at the quarterback position to really focus on baseball? And if you're Dave Van Horn, is it something that you're already probably talking to Connor? Hey, I know I'm not trying to insinuate, but kind of, sort of, maybe this is where you need to be. What's the best thing for Connor Nolan first and foremost, and for this program?
I think I kind of just hinted to a second ago. I think Connor has a brighter future in baseball. I'm not the one that's really going to have the determining factor or the last say so. But if it was me, and even if I was Chad Morris, I'm really going to sit down with this kid and say, okay, realistically looking, when I look at Starko and Ben, just by them being here this spring and you missing out on a lot of spring workouts, you're kind of already at that third string quarterback.
Right,
Great
point.
Then you still got, Dalton Hyatt there. You still got John Stevens. You still got KJ Jefferson that hasn't gotten on campus. So that's going to be a tough quarterback room when you look at what's the probability of me getting on the field this year.
And I'm looking at some very important information, I think, when you're looking at a program builder and something that Arkansas and the fan base should really be impressed. And it has to do in pertaining football. Coach Chad Morris has hired former head football coach at Buffalo University, former Nebraska great quarterback, All-American, Heisman Trophy runner-up. Turner Gill has been added to the Razorback family and Coach Chad Morris's program. And Demetrius, when you add people of this nature, you can't express about this hire and what Chad and his program are trying to put together. And you can see the direct correlation of, we talk about so many people in the program aggressively being guys that are aggressively trying to build their program, none other than Chad Morris. And then I'll let you get your thoughts, and then we'll get on to the main thing.
I think you really mentioned it off the air. You remember Turner Gill being a former Heisman player,
right?
African American. So I think it's really good as far as like quarterbacks, which I think are really starting to become that hybrid, that dual threat. Now we have somebody in an admin position that can also be a player coach, and I think that's great. Anytime you can hire someone with head coaching knowledge in an admin position, because it's almost like you have that extra body there to potentially coach and coach up guys in that position. And not only that position, with the skill set that you want within the scheme, and I think that's really where he can really play a big factor.
I mean, think about it. He's player development off the field, but when a kid comes in and maybe he's having some academic trouble, or maybe No, he's having some struggles on the football field. You have a guy like Turner Gill that can be in the office and they can get on all different types of levels. And Turner can talk to him from, more of a friend, a coaching aspect to where it's not something that's directly important on the field, but kind of show him some things that he sees from afar, because he's going to spend a lot of time on the field, but really from afar in the press box area. And I think that may be an advantageous situation when you're Chad Morris, because now you can also pull tons of information from a guy that's done it, both coaching and done it, when the bullets are flying at the highest level. I remember growing up how Nebraska was under Turner Gill, and most of our listeners and viewers, you can look up the tapes, and, if you weren't around in that era, and you will agree. But time to get on. There's a Diamond Gang guy that put out another top 6, and Arkansas was in it. And Coach Mo talks about, stocking the Diamond Gang, and this is one that they would love to have. 4-star running back out of Greenville, Mississippi, Dylan Johnson. He's about to join us. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins on KDSJ 479. Let's get it.
Hey guys, it's Pat Jenkins with On the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio. Be sure and tune in each and every day, Monday through Friday from 1 to 2 p.m. on KDSJ 479. You can catch us, but first off, before we leave out, I want to give a big shout out to all of our sponsors. Lindsay and Associates with an office location in Fayetteville, an office location also too in Rogers. The Baymont Hotel, located at 735 South Shiloh Drive. Locomotion, just below the Northwest Arkansas Mall, and our newest sponsor, Corey Beck's Custom Painting. Once again, we want to say a big thank you, as this would not be possible without you all. Well, it's Pat Jenkins, and it's On the Hill. Holler. Whoa.
After him.
Welcome back. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio on KDSJ 479. It's our Thursday edition, but real quick, before we get on to our main subject and interview, we want to give a shout out to our sponsors. Lindsay and Associates, the Baymont Hotel, Locomotion, and our newest sponsor, Corey Beck's Custom Painting. But now on to the main thing of the main thing. Coach Chad Morris started out early in 2019 with that vision, and he called it the Diamond Gang. A young man that they really, really, really want to be a part of the Diamond Gang, but in particular in that backfield. And we're going to bring him to you. 4-star running back from Greenville, Mississippi, Dylan Johnson. DJ, welcome to the Hill, my man.
What's up?
Hey,
how are you?
How's everything going in the MI cricket letter state?
Man, everything's been going great, you know what I'm saying? We've been having great weather, so that's a good thing, but it's still hot down here.
DJ, I want to get off into recruiting. A lot of schools are coming after you. You came out with your top 6 roughly a little over 24 hours ago. Talk about that top 6 and how you came about coming to those final 6 that you want to really pay all your information and attention and make a choice out of one of those schools.
My top 6 is really made by each school that I picked has their own unique thing about it. Both all 6 schools were showing me a lot of love. They showed that they really wanted me, and I felt like it was time for me to narrow it down to the six schools that I really need to pay attention to when I want to commit.
DJ, you come from a small area there in Mississippi, a small high school there in Greenville. Not a lot of people know about you guys. Now they will because you have another interesting young teammate. But I want to get down to yourself. I consider you, and many in the state consider you, the top running back in Mississippi. How do you handle that, DJ? And what are your goals heading into your senior year?
My biggest goal for me is just getting ready for college. Really, I've done everything for high school that I really wanted to do. I wanted to win state. I wanted to win the opening. I wanted to receive offers. That was the biggest thing. But the biggest thing for my senior year is for me to I just want to become a better player. You know what I'm saying? You just make sure I'm ready for college.
You just mentioned something that I was leading into. Great segue. You made the opening. How big is that to be able to represent your state in the opening? Against some of the elite competition. For I believe it's going to be a few days in the Texas area.
I mean, it was great. It was a great experience. I got to show my talent, and I'm trying to just represent my state. You know what I'm saying? It's for them, and it's just a huge honor for me to be out there and doing my thing.
Now, if I come to Greenville, Mississippi, I'm always one of those guys. I like popcorn. I like Coke with no ice, and I'm always going to sit in the top part of the stadium, my man. When that football is kicked off and it's time to get it, and I mean get it, what type of football player will I see in Dylan Johnson?
You're definitely going to see a competitor, a player that gives 150%. I don't like to lose, so you're just going to see me giving my all, and I just never give up. And that's just the type of player I always been. I'm just 100%. You're gonna always get 150% from me. Like in anything I do, I'm a hard worker, and that's just me.
You've taken an unofficial visit to the University of Arkansas a couple of months back. Also, too, you have a really strong relationship, as I know Kevin Bolden is a young and up-and-coming coach on the Arkansas staff that you hold in high regard. Talk about your relationship with Kevin, and also too, Coach Jeff Traylor. And there's another young man that's a freshman here, KJ Jefferson. His ability to sign at the University of Arkansas. Talk about what you know about KJ, how that's also too possibly going to play a factor in Arkansas. Having if you choose to come here, be one of those reasons.
With KJ, I've been watching him play since he was in 9th, 10th grade. He's from the field, and he's just a competitor. I mean, just a great player, and I just see all I see is a great future, and so it would be great for me to be in the backfield with him. Just with a Mississippi person, I'll be comfortable. I mean, I'll be comfortable regardless, but what I'm saying, just being back there with somebody else from the same state, that's pretty crazy. So it'll be nice.
Now, you told me off the record, you play a little quarterback for your high school. As like I said, there's another talented running back. What, if any, what position do you prefer to play at the collegiate level? And once Coach Morris and Coach Traylor and the offensive staff talked about how they would use you, DJ, if Arkansas is your school of choice.
Running back, definitely. Quarterback, I just play it, because my team, we didn't have a quarterback, and I can do anything. You can put me at receiver, you can put me at running back, you can put me at safety. I can play any position. It's just but my main position is running back. I always played it. That's my first love. That's where I want to play at, and I just do anything to help my team win. So for Coach Traylor and coaching staff, that we were talking, they love me. They love my personality. They love how I'm outspoken, and they think that I'll be a great fit in their offense. Running the ball, and so I feel like we just have a great relationship overall. All of us, they all show love to me, and it just feels like another home. So I feel like it's gonna be great.
Now, I know when I was a young man growing up, I always like to, watch players at the collegiate or the NFL positions that I played. Who are some of the individuals, DJ, that you like to watch on Saturdays or Sundays, and then come Friday, and mostly throughout the week, go out and kind of add some of the things that you get a chance to see in your game?
I'll say like some of the players that I always watch. Benjamin. He's a running back at Arizona State.
Yes.
Ladarius Perkins. I always looked up to him because he's from my high school and he went to Mississippi State. But definitely Saquon Barkley. I always watch his film, just try to study him, and try to learn from him.
Lastly, when football is done, or I got two questions, and I want everyone to know that I'm talking with Dylan Johnson, 4-star running back, top running back, I believe, in the state of Mississippi, out of Greenville, Mississippi, here on the Hill, Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio. But if there's three artists, because my producer, DJ, he's really into music. He records, when he's not producing my show. If there's three artists that you are really, really, really feeling, and in my terms, I'm learning some of the slang that you feel like are lit. What three are you vibing to right now?
I'm more of a rap person, so like I would probably listen to Young Boy, Kodak Black, and
Oh, DJ, you just the first one, Young Boy, because I'm gonna tell you, it's so ironic. He just went and shot an NBA Young Boy concert over in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So he has quite a relationship with NBA Young Boy, and who knows, may be in the works of bringing him to Fayetteville. You never know. I mean, I'm not trying to recruit you. I want everybody to know this. I'm not throwing out anything out there, but the last two questions. If there's something that you would like our viewers and listeners to know about Dylan Johnson that they may not know at the moment, what would that be?
I am a very, very, very good basketball player, and that's what people don't know. And during my basketball season, I averaged 30 points and 5 assists and 3 rebounds. So I was really good at basketball.
Well, okay, James Harden. Is that what's going on? And
yes, sir.
DJ, who you got tonight? Game one. Got the Raptors, or who's it going to be? The Warriors? Which one? Which way you going?
I'm going with the underdog. I'm going with the Raptors first game.
Oh my goodness, I got to go dub. But last question before we let you go. When football is done for Dylan Johnson, he'll be doing what afterwards?
I'll be in sports medicine. I want to do something that has something related to sports, because I'm just a person that loves to interact with sports. So hopefully when the football is done, I'm still coaching or doing something with sports.
Well, my man, I love having you on. We're going to continue to keep up. And like I said, as I've asked every recruit, if Arkansas, you so choose to make your announcement, could you do that here on OTH? We'll think about
when
it.
will I make my announcement? What you say?
Whenever you announce it's Arkansas, could you bring yourself on this show and do it publicly? We're just going to extend you an invitation now.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, have a blessed one, my man. Hey, you've earned the right to be selfish. And whoever one of those 6 schools has the pleasure of getting Dylan Johnson, I have no doubt in my mind, they're going to get a great football player and an even better person off the football field. And you will represent the SIP at a very high level. But again, thanks for taking time out on the hill, buddy.
No problem. Thank you.
That was 4-star Mississippi running back and Arkansas top priority. Arkansas made the top 6, Demetrius, and I told you before we came on, D. I want to get your take because I saw how you lit up when the dude said NBA young boy. I saw that, but more so watching film and getting your takes from this young man's view, as we have a privilege to do a lot. What is it about DJ that stood out?
Well, I think it's Chad Moore's number one pet peeve when recruiting. I think his speed. Just by looking at his tape, he just has breakaway speed. He's a guy that has good center of gravity, because I've seen it was a couple of times where he got hit pretty good and he still maintained his balance and took it to the house. So I think he just has the ability to get them yak yards and the yards after contact. So I think he's.
Who do you remind you of? I mean, what
if he had to remind me of someone, I would honestly kind of say Alex Collins. I think he doesn't juke as much.
You're a big Alex Collins guy.
Nah, I'm a Jonathan Williams fan.
Now, I keep forgetting that.
Greatest day. I'm gonna tell you
I disrespected J Dub on that. Jay, I'm sorry, he ain't lying.
I'm a Jonathan Williams fan.
Oh my goodness, people, you just don't know. You just don't know. I mean, just don't know. But it's all love, Jay Will. He ain't lying. He ain't lying, listeners. I'm telling you, He ain't lying. But, that's going to do it for us here today. We'll be back tomorrow because you already know what that is. We call it the A. But that's going to do it. I want to give a thank you to our guest, Scotty Borland of the Arkansas Democrat Gazette, for coming on and talking about the 2019-2020 men's basketball schedule. Also, giving us a little update on how it's going with the baseball team leading into round one at 1 o'clock tomorrow. And lastly, our 4-star Arkansas major running back target, Dylan Johnson of Greenville, Mississippi, gave us a lot of really good information that I know a lot of you across the that's on the top 6. I'll say that, Demetrius. That's on the top 6, the information he gave you. But really, I know you got to be feeling good. Not saying Arkansas is in the lead, but who knows? He's going to be on our show, Demetrius, if he does commit. How many people have I asked that to?
Man, you asked everybody. I was waiting for you to ask me.
Man, I'm talking about we're going to have Commit Central by the rate I'm going. But, we really enjoyed it today. Want to give a shout-out to our sponsors, Lindsay & Associates, the Baymont Hotel, Locomotion, and lastly, our newest sponsor, Corey Beck's Custom Painting. Want to give a thank you to my producer, the best in the business. They call him Demi Guy, but we all know Home Guy on OTH. And myself, to you and the listeners, you guys have a blessed one. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins. Let's get it.
Hey guys, it's Pat Jenkins with On the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio. Be sure and tune in each and every day, Monday through Friday from 1 to 2 p.m. on KDSJ 479. You can catch us, but first off, before we leave out, I want to give a big shout out to all of our sponsors. Lindsay & Associates with an office location in Fayetteville, an office location also too in Rogers. The Baymont Hotel, located at 735 South Shiloh Drive. Locomotion, just below the Northwest Arkansas Mall, and our newest sponsor, Corey Beck's Custom Painting. Once again, we want to say a big thank you, as this would not be possible without you all. Well, it's Pat Jenkins, and it's On the Hill. Holler. Whoa.